Okay everyone, here's our Reteach video for the solving equations test. We'll start with our first problem. Miranda went to the store to buy an iPad. She paid $2.99 for the iPad. If the iPad was on sale for 27% off, what was the original price of the iPad? Remember that we talked about in class that these problems can be set up as proportions. So first we're going to organize our information in a table. We have information given to us in dollars, and we also have information given to us as percents. We have two kinds of prices. We have a sale price and we have an original price. So now we're going to start to just fill in the table with the information that we've been given. We're told that she paid $2.99 for the iPad, so that is the sale price. She paid the sale price. The iPad was on sale for 27% off. So if it's 27% off, that means that the percentage that she is going to pay is 73%. So we'll put that under the percent. So the sale price is 73% of our original price. We don't know the original price, so we'll call that P. The original price is the same thing as paying full price or paying 100%. So now that we have our table filled in, we can set up a proportion. We'll just put an equal sign in here. And remember, to solve a proportion, we cross multiply. So we're going to multiply 29 going to multiply 29 times 100. Sorry, 299 times 100. And that should be equal to 73 times P, or 73P. 299 times 100 is 29,900. To find P, we need to divide both sides by 73. Got my calculator. Excuse me for just a minute. Okay, so let's just bring up our system calculator here. Okay, so 29,900 divided by 73 will give us 409. And rounding to the nearest cent, that would be 59 cents. So that means that answer choice B is going to be the correct answer. Okay, let's look at number 2. iTunes is running a special in which it will cost users $2 for the first song and 50 cents for each song after the first. If Carrington spent $12, how many songs did she download? Let's start by writing an equation for our problem. It costs $2 for the first song, and it costs 50 cents for each song after that. And Carrington is going to spend a total of $12. Now we need to solve our equation for S. So we'll subtract 2 on both sides. So 0.50 S is equal to 10. divide both sides by 0.5, and we get S equals 20. What does S represent in this problem? It represents the number of songs that were downloaded for 50 cents each. Remember that she also downloaded one song for $2. So our total songs will be 21 songs. So our answer would be C, 21 songs. Let's move on to our next problem. Simplify the following expression: negative 6x plus 8y minus 4 times the quantity 5y minus 3. Okay, before we start, let's get our rules for multiplying and dividing integers. Remember our triangle for multiplying and dividing, and our rules for combining like terms or adding integers, which is our scoreboard. So we'll use these during this problem. So the first thing we want to do is distribute the negative 4. That means we're multiplying negative 4 times 5y. Negative 4 times 5y is negative 20y. A negative times a positive is a negative. Negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. A negative times a negative is a positive. Now we need to bring down everything else. So we'll bring down the negative 6 and the 8y. Now we are combining like terms in this step. We need to combine 8y and negative 20y. So we have a positive 8y and a negative 20y. When we have both negatives and positives, we are going to subtract. So we subtract 20 minus 8, and we are going to keep the sign of the larger number. 20 is larger than 8, so we'll have a negative 12y. Now we'll bring down everything else. Excuse me. Try that again. Bring down negative 6x and positive 12. There are no more like terms to combine, so our answer is D, negative 6x minus 12y plus 12. Okay, moving down to number 2. Academy is having a 25% sale. 25% off sale on sports equipment. Assuming the price of a softball bat is $P, which of the following could represent the sale price of not the tennis shoes, but the softball bat? Okay, so let's look at each of our answer choices individually. And I think first we will start with trying to eliminate something that we know could not be correct. Okay, we are taking off 25%. So anything that says taking off something different than 25% cannot be our answer. For example, option 4 says the original price P minus 0.75P. So this says take the original price and take off 75%. We don't want to take off 75%. We want to take off 25%. So if we're going to take off 25%, it looks like either 1 or 2 could be a good answer. Number 1 says that we're taking off 25 cents. That's not what we want. Number 2 says that we are taking the original price and taking off 25% of the original price. So number 2 is a good answer. So anything that doesn't have number 2, we can eliminate. So is it 2 only, or is it 2 and 3? So let's look at this answer choice right here. If we were to take the original price and take off 25%, that leaves us with 75%. So that means that we are going to pay 75% of P, the original price. So answer choice 3 is also correct. So C is the correct answer because it includes both answer choices 2 and 3. All right, moving down to number 3. Okay, we have the literal equation negative 4y plus 2x equals negative 20, and we want to solve it for y. Solving it for y means to get y alone. We want to isolate y. So the first thing to do is to isolate the term that has the y in it. So that would be this term right here. So we want to isolate or get alone this term here. How would we get that term alone? Well, we would need to cancel out this positive 2x. So we're going to subtract 2x on both sides. So those cancel out. We get negative 4y equals negative 20 minus 2x. Why don't we combine these two terms? That's correct, because they are not like terms. Now we want to isolate the y. We're going to isolate the y by doing the inverse of multiplication, which is division. To divide both sides by negative 4. The negative 4's cancel out, isolating the y. Let's get our triangle here with our rules for multiplying and dividing integers. Because we're dividing negative 20 divided by negative 4. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So this is positive 5. Again, we are dividing a negative 2 by a negative 4, so that's also going to be a positive answer. We want to leave our answer in fraction form, but we want the fraction reduced. 2 over 4 reduces to 1/2, and we bring down the x. If we switch the order of our terms and put the term with the x first and the constant second, we see that our correct answer is answer choice H, because both terms are positive. Okay. Let's go to our perimeter problem. The Future Farmers of America of AHS is building a wire pen for keeping animals. They have a total of 172 feet of wire to fence the pen. The length of the pen must be 4 feet less than twice the width. We need to label the rectangle and then find the length and width of the pen. And we're given the formula perimeter equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So let's first label our rectangle. The length is 4 feet less than twice the width. Less than means to subtract. Less than is also a turnaround phrase that tells us that the words that come after the less than must go before the minus. So twice the width. That would be 2w. 4 would go after the minus sign. So this is our length, and we'll just call our width W. Now let's use the formula for perimeter that they gave us. Okay. We were not specifically told in this problem what the perimeter was, but we were told that we have a total of 172 feet of wire to put around the pen. So that means that our perimeter has to be 172 feet. Now we're just going to substitute what we know for L in the problem. We know that the length is 2W minus 4, so we substitute that into the problem. And our width is just W, so plus 2W. Now we have an equation set up, and we can simplify and then solve. So first step to simplify is to distribute. 2 times 2W is 4W. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Bring down the 2W. Bring down the 172. Now we'll combine our like terms together. 4W plus 2W is 6W. Bring down the negative 8. Bring down the 172. So the first thing we need to do in solving for W is to get the term that has the 6W. We need to get that alone. So we'll get that alone by adding 8 to both sides. Now we need to get the W alone, and we'll do that by dividing both sides by 6. So we get W equals 30. But watch out, because we're not finished yet. W is the width, so we've only answered one of the questions. We know that the width is 30 feet. We now have to find the length of the pen. The length is 2 times the width minus 4. So we will substitute 30 for W. So 2 times 30 minus 4. 60 minus 4. That means that our length is 56 feet. Now we have answered both questions in the problem. What is the length and width of the pen? And we used units in our answer. Okay, moving down to number 5. Okay, we need to simplify and solve this problem. Notice that the parentheses does not have a number in front of it. So we're going to write in a 1. That means we need to distribute a negative 1. Negative 1, and let's again get our rules for multiplying and dividing handy, and also our rules for combining like terms, because we'll need both of those. Negative 1 times positive 4x is negative 4x. Negative 1 times negative 10, negative times negative, is positive 10. Bring everything down. Now we need to combine like terms. So we're combining a negative 5x with a negative 4x. So a negative 5x and a negative 4x. When our expressions are on the same side of the scoreboard, when they have the same sign, we add them and keep the sign. So this is negative 9x. Bring down plus 10 equals 37. We now need to get the term with the variable alone. We'll do that by subtracting 10 from both sides. So that gives us negative 9x equals 27. We now need to get the x alone, and we'll do that by dividing both sides by negative 9. So x equals negative 3. Last problem. In this problem, we need to distribute our -4. -4 times +1, negative times a positive, is a -4x. -4 times -4, negative times a negative, is a +16. Combine like terms on the left side. We have a -8x and a +4x. -8x and +4x. We have both negatives and positives, so we subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. 8 minus 4 is 4. -4x is our answer. Bring down the +16. Now we need to get our variables to the same side of the equation. So we want to cancel out the -4x from the left side, so we'll add 4x to both sides. Notice that when we do that, -4x and +4x cancel out over here. We bring down 16. -4x and +4x also cancel out over here, and we bring down the 16. When all of your variables drop out and the two sides are exactly the same, the numbers are equal, we say that our answer is all real numbers. This means that any value we choose for x and substitute it into the equation will make the equation true. There's your Reteach video. Watch it as many times as you need to. Remember, your Reteach or your retest is on block day along with your inequalities test.